brought on in the second half in the first leg. Today's match referee from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jean-Jacques Gambo Ndala. John Bocco, over 80 caps for Tanzania. And he is back in the starting lineup today for the visitors. Look inside the VAR room here. And now the starting 11 selected by Simba coach Robertinho. The aforementioned Bocco back in to lead the attack. And Sadio Kanute, who got the second goal in the first leg after coming on as a half-time substitute, also rewarded for his fine second-half performance. He comes in at the expense of Mizamero Yassin. Miki-son, who was replaced at half-time of the first leg, also dropping to the bench this afternoon as well. Marcel Collin, the 62-year-old former Swiss international, hired by Ahly in September of 2022, won the league in his first season, lost just the one match, also went on to win the CAF Champions League as well. Ahly potentially on course for the treble through to the Egyptian Cup final, which will be played at the end of November. His counterparts, Robertinho, making a couple of key personnel changes at half-time of the first leg that's really worked out well for Simba. He's gone with a similar lineup.
Except your messages only come to me.
To the one that started the second half of the first leg from the offset today.
Again, Q&A is your lifeline.
Well, it's pay dividends for the Tanzanians as they look to knock off one of the great names of African football.
So again, if you have any questions, when you type your name in the Q&A box, you must type your first and last name. Okay? Because what happens is this. Mike and I have a list of everybody who registered for the webinar. We see everyone as you log in. So we see the people who logged in. When you type your name in the Q&A box, it compares
the key components of this Ahly side.
We're logged in. And at the end of
the winning goal late on the 2020 CAF Champions League final against Ahly's Cairo rivals Zamalek.
So if he doesn't see your name and we know you're logged in, he'll let me know and I will call your name out. So you will know that as we saw you were attended,
very
we
interesting
do not.
As you can see, the changes that Simba has made. They brought their captain Bocco. He looks very tall. The game plan is going to be like a second ball to him, guide the ball, and then they kind of try and support. And don't forget Dennis, is also a very, very dangerous player. He scored a goal, and his confidence level is high. So this game is very, very interesting to watch.
We'll have gone to bolster the attack with the selection of Bocco. Dennis Kibu, of course, certainly played his part in that first leg with the first goal, the equaliser.
That's very, very important.
A brief delay, but we are just about set to get underway. And away we go. It is the hosts, Ahly, who kick off this second leg in at Cairo. The tie level at 2 goals apiece for the first 90 minutes. At the end of last week in Tanzania, can Simba knock out Ahly here at the Cairo International Stadium, the venue for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations final by Algeria against Senegal. The touch for Al Shahat will be a throw-in for Simba.
Okay, the same day the course is completed. But again, we can't do that until after the webinar is over, until after the compliance department goes through the webinar transcript. So basically, everything you type in the Q&A.
Did the 2-year reign of Zamalek last season, Ahly in the Egyptian top flight, making it 43 Egyptian league titles now.
Long enough to get CE. So if you're not going to get CE, you'll probably
did lose the CAF Super Cup to USM Alger of Algeria back in September in Saudi Arabia. He bounced back with a couple of league wins to kick off this season.
And then this evening, when attendance
Town, the red hot form domestically. He wasn't quite at the races though. Asamoah in the first leg had a really good chance in that first half that he scooped over the bar. Do you expect to see a bit more from him today? Will he be a bit more on the money?
Yeah, I do expect a bit more from him.
Any chance here perhaps for Ahly? Well,
please do that.
played themselves into a spot of bother. Simba certainly not afford to make those sorts of mistakes. It was Karaba with Afsha rather with a header.
Let me just ask him a question.
Another look there. The defender seemed to.
All right, let me just see.
Well, his tracker row was, I think.
Okay, question.
It's been an offside position now to ricochet through.
We don't do anything.
So may well have been reviewed had it ended up as in a goal. Sorry to cut you off there, Asamoah. Just to go back to the point about Percy Tau. What do you expect from him today?
I think he has a huge task ahead of him, although he had a very disappointing first game.
Right, so Mike,
the team counted on him. They've been counting on him since a couple of months.
Settings don't work and you
Another defensive lapse. This time down at the other end, was certainly being a sloppy start from both sides.
So again, I know Zoom did.
Yeah, so as I was talking, they've been counting on Tau for a couple of months now, and I'm sure he knows he needs to step up in this game. And obviously, he's the one who drives the Ahly team for a couple of months now. So he needs to just step up his game, and I'm sure they will be fine.
Miss South Africa's recent friendlies earlier on this month against Eswatini and the Ivory Coast for family reasons. We're straight back into the Ahly lineup on Friday. Again, selected this afternoon as a key part of their CAF Champions League winning side last season.
Keep in mind that if you're having any issues there, are there any questions? Anybody have any questions about attendance? Okay, or anything? So
flicks it on Tau, plays it off. This is Afsha. And some options to his left, picks out El Shahat. Overlap being made by Ali Malou. He pulls it back towards El Shahat. Not sure he was expecting it though. El Shahat and chance perhaps for Simba 2 to break. Instead, it's deflected back to the path of Afsha, and that wasn't too far away.
Again, we've got
about 6 or
10 people who registered twice today with 2 different emails.
All just sat up invitingly for him, and he put his foot through it.
That creates an issue.
The Simba keeper, Ali Salim, scrambling to his right.
Who are different. So again, attendance purposes.
For me, what Simba has to do is you have to make sure they keep possession, because when you start losing possession against a team like Ahly, then you have a very, very long afternoon, because they are an experienced side, they are playing at home, and they are capable of doing anything. So being an underdog, make sure you keep the ball. But when you start losing the ball very, very early, you're in trouble.
And that was one of the things that the Simba coach Robertino wasn't happy about in the first half on a Friday. In fact, they were second best a lot of the times to both the first and second balls, which is why he made those tactical tweaks at half time. That's the reason he gave afterwards. Again, it's not been the most convincing of starts from the Tanzanian side. They certainly did go into the game on Friday, so perhaps just be a case of finding their feet once again this afternoon.
And the tactic for today is, I think he's trying to play all the balls to Boko, who is very huge up front, to make sure he drives the team with him. But it looks like he's been losing the balls early stages, and it doesn't look good for them. As a lone striker, you need to just keep the ball, create fouls, make sure you drive the team. But when you don't keep the ball, then it's going to be a long, long afternoon for Simba. I hope things changes like how they did in the first game.
It's Abdul Monem back in the starting 11 for Ahly this afternoon. Played 90 minutes in both the recent friendlies that Egypt had. The international break earlier on this month. It's again to play a full part this afternoon. Back bolstering that back line for Ahly.
Okay,
of course, Abdul Monem, who scored the decisive goal against Wydad in last season's CAF Champions League final.
Okay, so we can't see or hear you. So you're not going to see that.
3-2 winners on aggregates.
Something makes
1-1 draw in the second leg, and it was Abdel Monim's 78th-minute strike that ultimately propelled Al Ahly to their record-extending 11th Champions League crown.
Okay. So, for those of you who are having issues, Maria, you must have had a sound issue because we started the webinar about a minute or two early. All right, so we are finishing up. This is our final call for attendance. Okay, right now is our final call for attendance. So if you have not
of 2 years in June,
if you'll type
alongside the man who started the first leg with him, Yasser Ibrahim.
3 times throughout the webinar. This is the first time. Each time I call for attendance, I need you to type your name.
Last campaign was
he will let me know
injury point one.
Who's on the webinar.
Back fit again for Al Ahly. Rami Rabia.
Now also keep in mind that if you're
shifting it onto that favoured left foot of his.
Okay,
this is Mohamed Hani.
What your name is. Just as long as you type your name in the Q&A box, you're all set.
Back
so
to Aliou Dieng.
Boss registered here. Your team account has your boss's name. Okay.
Shinawi.
You know, you're registered under your name. You're attending at someone else's. That's okay. No problem with that. We go by the
actual the unfortunate Egyptian players to miss a penalty.
All right.
The 2021 African Cup of Nations final. The shootout, a defeat by Senegal. Abdel Monim.
Maria, obviously we've got a discrepancy in the times.
Straight to Simba, but with a second opportunity here. Al Ahly. Picking up Atia. This is Al Shahad.
Okay. I think we're all set. Unless there are any other questions, we are going to be talking about
near side against El Shahad.
Agents Day, and it's interesting to note that this is one of the webinars that we designed, okay, and that we present based on comments from
a late substitute last week
webinar. We
against Algeria,
survey, and
their international friendly El Shahad.
So this is one
of
of those
recall to
the
international setup in June.
Visiting the web and clicking on links. So after the webinar is over, we will email you a PowerPoint copy of the slides. Okay, you're not going to get it during the middle of the webinar. You'll get it later on today. In that PowerPoint presentation, any of the URLs that I clicked on are embedded in the PDF. All right. So if you want to get that PDF later, make sure that you go to your email settings and add betterce.com to your safe sender list. Okay. If you don't have it in your safe sender list, your firewall settings or your other email security settings may not let it go through. Now, if at any point in time you want to take a screenshot of any of the pages that we got or any of the sites on that, that's fine. I'll try to
in terms of possession. So far, that certainly wasn't the case in the first leg. It was Simba who had more possession, more
I think
shots as well,
with some of the privacy
more passes too.
Most of our concerns, I think,
it finished on us even at 2 apiece.
Okay, and then consequently be found
for Jen to bring down the.
So we want to make sure
still cause problems.
We understand what we're supposed to be doing. Now, keep in mind that virtually every piece of information on an insurance application is protected. Same thing for loss services, claim cards. So
very unlucky to strike the crossbar in the first leg when it was at 2 apiece. First time strike. Wrestling the frame of the goal had Mohamed El Shinawi stranded.
We're going to start with
to be though in the end for the veteran Burundi international.
Right. And personally identifiable information under GLBA.
The 36-year-old was the joint top scorer last season. Be a chance here for Boko if he can get the wrong side of Abdel Monim.
This protected information, whether it be PII, whether it be
get up by the linesman, but he has at least on his side a throw.
A certain thing. I mean, social security numbers in and of themselves are inherently PII and personally identifiable information and protected health information because they're uniquely linked to one person.
I think this is the game we were talking about. They just have to play Boko and then they keep pushing forward and to make sure he wins, draw fouls and everything. And that is what we're seeing right now. I think that tactical work is beginning to set in right now.
The date of birth, and then I give my date of birth, then that kind of identifies.
For Bocco once more.
If I
Give away by Atia, and once more hooked clear by Al-Shahad, but Canute
that combination
to squeeze it
pretty
through.
much going to identify.
Shots from a distance from Mohamed Hussein. Right at El Shinawi.
You are out. Here it is, okay? Cornell has federal law on it. So if you want to see what the actual legal definition is, that's where you can find that. And again, there's non-public personal information.
Egyptian central defender.
Insurance industry. A lot of businesses do this, but when it comes to lead generation, sales,
clip it over the top. Well, he was applying. We saw plenty of one at Friday. Asamoah, Fabrice and Goma. It's all over the heart of the field, really dictating play.
From transactions, it's not necessarily.
Yes, Goma was very, very good in
but
the
it's
first leg.
information.
But the second leg, we
isn't
saw
out there
much
that
of it
everybody
right now.
has. Right? So
But I
it
think
is information
they have a lot of
protected
minutes to play. So,
in and of itself. But
as I said, it's going to be a very, very long afternoon now.
Right. Again,
Hope everything goes
isn't
well for
publicly available.
Simba.
Okay, so again, it can be
Annie.
a private customer.
Brings it down his chest. Wants to push on. Now calling for it. Hanny just cuts inside.
Question.
Finds the South African now.
We emailed after the
Towel.
webinar.
So is it Al-Shahad? Al-Shahad's ball poked away from him. This is Saidi.
Christy is away at a conference.
Too much on the pass from Atlantis Chama, the Zambian.
So she won't be able to get that.
Towel. To play it through, just a little bit too much on it as well.
The Graham Leach
There's a sliding Afsha, lunging to try and bring it under control.
There's two rules. There's the safeguards rule and there's the privacy rule. And the safeguards rule explains what we're supposed to do, how we can collect information, who we can collect it from, who can share it with, all that kind of stuff. And the GLBA defines the term financial institution. So that's a bank, but it can also be an insurance company.
It's over the top.
Although
trying to find Caraba.
Brokers aren't specifically defined in GFWA, they're not specifically named. There is a definition of financial institution that says any business that is significantly engaged in providing
keep it in play
activities. So if you're in business and you provide financial activities, by extension, you have to comply with the GLBA. Now, most of us, individual agents, whether you're an employee, as captive,
the club since 2016, Ali Malul.
Most of us, virtually all of us, are covered by our insurance company.
8 assists for an athlete on route to last year's CAF Champions League title.
Have to have them. They have to have the rules written down,
including the assist that set up the match-winning or the title-winning goal in the second leg of the final.
But again, that personal information of the individual.
Wants to threat down that left-hand side.
Communicate with us.
Ali Malul.
So as long as you comply with your companies, you should be all set. But do make sure you understand how that works. Okay.
I like the way Alagli presses anytime they lose the ball. You know, so anytime they lose the ball, you see 2-3 players trying to track the ball, to win the ball back, and they really show they are playing at home. You know, this is what a home side should do, and they are not giving Simba a breathing space to just make sure they play 2 or 3 passes. Anytime they lose the ball, you see 2-3 players going there to win the ball. And the way Simba is also defending has been quite solid so far. They've been defending, they've been very, very compact, and it's making
so let's talk about what
frustrated right now.
Is, okay, or information that's protected.
Yeah, just doing their best to keep them at bay so far, but ended up to string together too many passes at Simba.
Not just any information. Right, when we were going through COVID,
applying constant pressure.
I don't have to give that information.
The away side do get
protected, or they
the ball.
can't have that information, or they can't share it with anyone because it's protected. Well, no, not really. Okay. The only people who are required by federal law to protect that health information are covered anyway, which I'm going to talk about in the next page.
Society.
So the health information,
off it, but
any kind of health information
still going to be
that's
his
held
team's
by
ball.
or transmitted by a covered entity and its business associates. Okay?
6-year stint as Austria coach Marcel Kuller.
But it's related to 3 different things. Okay?
Qualified for Euro 2016. That was the first time the country had played at the European Championship, aside from when they qualified automatically as co-hosts alongside Switzerland in 2008.
for your health care. Again, past, present,
2-year spell at Basel.
When you had the health care, when
lots of the coaching profession for
or who provided
a couple of seasons
okay?
to that point before he was signed and brought to Cairo by Ahly.
Now, if you hold on a second,
Punched well, not convincingly at all, and had a real mess of that. Ahly Salim came for it. It was a looping ball into the box. It was Caraba sort of putting him under pressure, but
drop that down.
he should have dealt with it far better than that. And unfortunately,
what gets me,
for Ahly Salim,
walked into
has a defender back there just to bail him out. It was Chamberlain.
And you say, hey, I'm Linda.
The Cameroonian signed in July. He was there to make sure that Caraba didn't have
or if I just say, hi, I'm
an open goal. There will be a corner, though, for Ahly.
Oh, and it's your birthday. You know.
I totally should have done a bit better.
That's what she just did.
Comes the corner from Malou. It's going to fall here for Arabia over the top from the central defender. Has to go down, has an opportunity.
You know, so
the best one we've seen so far in this opening 17 minutes. It didn't quite come down quickly enough for Arabia.
We're supposed to protect it. They have those sliding glass
doors towards the far post. It was Jeng who got his head on it.
And they open it.
Deflected into the path of
the
Ahly centre back and trying to get over the top of it to keep it down, unsuccessful in doing so.
And if you don't want your information called out, you can have it written down on a piece of paper. You can show them your driver's license, or you can say it out loud. You know, can I write it down? And maybe that's crazy, maybe it isn't. For example, people ask for information that they want, not that they need. I got a new eye doctor a few years ago, and
Kibu Dennis
when
is the player down
at the doctor's office, I filled out, you know, that new patient form, and I gave it to her. She says, "Oh, you didn't give us your social security number." I said, "Yeah, I know." She says, "Well, we need it." I said, "What do you need it for?" Well, when we submit your claim, that helps the submission of the claim process. They said, "No, it doesn't." I said, "You have my
through all that,
ID card there." I said, "That's what you give to the insurance company
Dennis.
to process my claim. They don't ask you for my social security number."
And that was the flap at the cross from Ahly Salim. Perhaps could have caught it, went to punch it two-handed and really made very little contact.
They want it. She thinks she needs it because she's told
to a
by her
goal.
boss that she needs it. But she clearly hasn't had any training on any of this stuff. And that's what we need to keep in mind. Our clients don't know any better. They go into an office and the receptionist is going to tell them what is needed, and it isn't. So, it's one of those things where we're dealing in our industry. We need to know all these things because we don't want someone to tell us that we have to provide them with information. And we don't. I had a fellow walk into my office once, and he looked just like an FBI agent on TV. You know how they have the gray slacks,
it's out the man to his left.
The navy jacket, and the white shirt, and the
return a ball. Plays it back in. It's a good ball as well, but well defended by Henrik Inonga.
And he says, "Hey,
DR Congo International.
So and so.
I've been out injured until recently.
And I'm here because one of your clients paid me a counterfeit $100 bill." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, we need to check into that." Now,
Dieng taking a favourable bounce. It's Afsha here, tries to square it. It's cut out, but Tao has a chance here. Once that deflected over, it was on his weaker right foot. Another opportunity for Ahly.
He made good on it.
As I was saying, Boko should
step
up
ID from this guy.
his game a bit.
And he says, "Okay, well, let's talk about it." I said, "Okay,
he's losing all the balls, and it's been very difficult for
Simba
to just keep the ball up front. But he's been losing all the ball, and the ball keeps on coming to Simba. And I think the coach should try and see how he can change his tactic because it looks like it's not working for Simba right now.
Sustained pressure being applied by Ahly.
Health information. These are the only people who
it out. The latest opportunity for the hosts.
When your employer asked you if you had a COVID shot, and then you said yes or no, and your boss
goalkeeper trying to make.
Boss wasn't violating HIPAA because your boss is.
Sure, they're on the same page.
A covered entity is only healthcare providers, health plans, the actual insurance
companies, upfield, but again, Ahly.
All right, and a healthcare clearinghouse is a company
seemingly first the ball each and every time.
They receive from
that's
someone else. Now we are
Bombay
also
with the header.
because we're business associates.
This is Dennis.
We work on behalf of
Bocco to his left. Dennis still has it. Dennis.
People are very concerned that their
We had the captain, John Bocco, to his left.
The only time your employer
being
will be a covered
better served,
if your employer is
lifting his head up
also
and trying to pick out his teammate and his captain.
And only
This is El Shahat here, leading the counter for Ahly. El Shahat.
So your employment records and
White
anything
wrap
that
his foot around it.
Directly your health care.
We know at the very least that Simba are going to have to score at least one goal today.
And if you click
Is that the kind of opening they're going to have to make better use of?
That was a great opportunity for Simba. You know, you saw Boko on the left alone. Then he should have at least trying to lead the ball, but he kept his eyes just on the ball without thinking about his passing through, and then he wanted to go solo. I think it was a huge opportunity for Simba.
Your employers and that may or may not be subject to HIPAA. Now, what are we concerned about? Okay, we have our private information. We're concerned about getting it, aren't we? How many of you raise your hand?
Just keep coming in attack here. Ahly, Percy Tao gets past his man. Has to lay it off. Gets it back again. Tao here.
Don't you get emails all the time or letters?
Mohamed Hani. Scooped up by Ali Salim, but
big company or organization
on the door here
was
to the home sides.
Thank you, Susan. Appreciate you letting us know you're back. Yeah. Now, how many of you at where you work?
The first touch from
your employer has
Dennis.
data breach.
Quite.
Or you yourself, if you're,
keep hold of the ball though. Shinawi.
Ransomware is a form of a breach. Happens all the time. We need to know what a breach is. And there isn't just federal law that has some breaches. Federal law has
a Mohammed Hussein
in every single one of the states. So you can have a data breach or you can have a security breach. Data is information, and security are the measures you use to keep people out and to keep the information that you have safe. So you can have a data breach or you can have a security breach. Did someone get in who shouldn't have, and was data exposed? Now, the federal definition of data breach.
Way through this opening half in Cairo.
Okay, compromised information. Okay, and the information that was compromised.
We've dominated so far, Asamoah.
Yeah, I think that is the game. That is kind of game we were expecting.
Without authorization, either accessed it or used
I like their mentality anytime they lose the ball. They try to win the ball as soon as possible, but they haven't been that dangerous in front of goal, and that is what we are expecting. It looks like how they played in the first leg, and now they are playing at home. I'm sure they should be a bit. They should try and execute their chances that they get, because they are trying to do good things, but they don't get too much in the box of Simba.
So we're going to see different breach requirements. Now,
El Shahat striding away down this left-hand side. Malul making himself available. El Shahat opts to go it alone. Bounces back to Dieng. Flipped into the box towards Percy Tao. Chested down, tries to skirt. Karaba. And this is the opening goal.
Is any information that was not encrypted?
The offside flag is up. Indeed it is.
Information.
Just have another look at this. A very tight goal, but looks to be just about the right one.
Were affected.
Percy Tao selfishly squaring for Karaba.
So you can go here and see the HIPAA breach notification, and again, that's simply protected health information.
Go on the first leg.
LBA has a different
athlete number 7
notification requirements. The FTC has
the joint top scorer in last season's CAF Champions League with 6.
National Conference of State Legislatures.
Won the first leg of the final against Wydad, a 2-1 home victory.
Security breach notification. Someone got into your information. So you can see that the requirements apply separately in many government entities and businesses in the private sector or individuals in the private sector. Sometimes they're the same, but this is a really good website, by the way, mcsl.org. All kinds of information and laws about all kinds of stuff.
It's just being
so
walked over by the video officials to make absolutely certain.
Now, many of the states, I think about...
Really just on and play up for the time being.
I think about 30 or 35
It's
states
confirmation.
have laws, okay, that impose requirements
How
on
about
businesses
just
so
asking
that
the question?
to comply with certain laws when they collect information. Okay, when you have data that's protected. So you have your security breach laws and your data security laws. Let's see how many states. At least 25.
Very interesting.
Well, if we look here, you can see the states.
Well, the wait goes on. Is the
And it shows you
going to
who it
be?
applies to
It
and
is
what has to be
offside.
done.
It's
Now,
all said and
when
done.
I've read the laws,
Close call, all
right,
the same.
I have never found obviously a state law is not going to be
Flicked on towards Saidi, helped on here.
Almost
And it's
always.
Kibu Dennis. Terrific stop
Federal
from
law has
El
auto
Shinawi.
laws and then applies to
Follow-up
that.
blocked as well. Shinawi appears to have hurt himself in the
Every
process.
state security data law I've read only applies to a breach of data for residents of
This
that
is
state.
what we
State
were
laws
talking about.
obviously
You
are
know, all the balls should go to
regulations
Brooklyn,
on
and
businesses
then
in their
we
state,
use the second
that
ball,
do
and
business in
it's
their
working
state,
for them.
but the protections are only extended to foreign residents.
The linesman did belatedly have his flag raised over the far side, but
legal
one stop all the same from El Shinawi. Trying to lift it over the goalkeeper. Kibu Dennis may have caught him as well as he was advancing past.
Data disposal. And when you look at this is in FTC.
I think there was a bit of a touch with
virtually everybody.
from the striker's knee
Anyone
to show his head. And I think there's a bit of small knock with the although he made a great save. Great save.
Individuals
This was the
credit report on certain people.
the verdict. The offside goal that was, well, the goal that was eventually ruled out for offside was initially given as offside as well, to be fair to the on-field officials, but a very tight decision.
So again,
credits
we're all
to
covered by the
the
disposal.
linesman for getting
And
that
here's your
spot
proper
on.
disposal. You have a paper record, you have to burn, pulverize, or shred. And there's different kinds of shredding. There's cross-cut shredding, and there's just kind of shredding where you can put the papers back together again. So if you don't have
Now
a
it's
cross-cut
being
shredder,
checked
somebody
over
can your trash, they technically take
by the
everything.
Ahly
That
medical
doesn't
staff.
fly. Right? When you destroy data, it can't be reconstructed. It's not
We do have a couple of goalkeepers among the substitutes today.
We have
Ahly.
federal data disposal rule, and then we have state data disposal rules, and we have HIPAA. Now, HIPAA's data disposal rule is says you can pretty much do whatever you want, so long
Including for
as
Schubert,
complying.
played the first leg of the Champions League final against Sweden last season.
Here's more than
This
35
is the debut in the competition.
have
The Shinawi and Ali Lotfi sidelines. She has since departed the club.
Any questions about those privacy laws before we move on? So that's just some of the things.
It's going to be okay to carry on now, Shinawi.
Because our just
Sign for an athlete. And Del Moden.
Any questions? Any comments?
Malul.
All right, let's now talk about the devices and the networks and the servers. Raise your hand. Thank you, Jeffrey. Raise your hand if you have
Saidi,
multiple
Shama, and Goma.
computers and
There's been a play
devices.
there from Fabrice and Goma. Tal Canute. This is Kibu Dennis. Show too much of it to Malul.
Is there anyone who doesn't have any electronic devices and you're actually on a Zoom webinar using somebody else's computer? Anyone who doesn't own any electronic devices at all?
Nancy Tao.
All right, so those two people are raising your hand. You don't own any kind of a cell phone or a smartphone. You don't own a laptop or a computer. Is that right?
30 minutes played in this second leg of the first of the four quarterfinals.
So the thing is, here's the different devices.
And Simba level at 2 goals apiece on aggregate.
And here's the things that, in general, can happen to destroy those.
This is Hani now, first time ball into the box. Important intervention.
And we need security on all of these devices and all these things. All right, so think about
regaining possession time and again.
Smartphones.
And athlete.
We have tablets. We have regular cell phones that you can text on.
Bombay.
We have laptops.
Paco.
PCs.
Inside the free kick is taken quickly.
clubs. We have
That's it.
voicemail systems.
Have it back here though. Simba.
At home, we have
Canute.
and smart.
How was he brought down? Free says no. Tao. A couple of blue shirts in close quarters with Percy Tao, and came off him at last, according to the linesman.
Anybody else have any other kind of device that you have? What if you have a medical condition? Maybe you have an infusion pump or you have a pacemaker. We have smart watches. We have Fitbits. There's smart lights, Karen points out. Yeah. Right. And you guys are going to come up with other stuff. Okay.
It's Yang.
Wi-Fi extenders. There you go. Cars. Exactly right. Airplanes.
Celine.
Okay.
Couldn't do any more with it than just poking out for a throw-in.
Cans, microphones. Okay, all the things we have plugged into the internet.
Afsha, a little to his left. Afsha finds El Shahat. That's here into the box, headed away. It's Yang. Afsha hands it out to Malul. Fends off the challenge from Kepombe. Look to recycle possession. Rabia. Nice play from Akara, but almost managed to poke it through to Percy Tell. Annie. Simba back defending deep end in numbers. Dieng. Shahat. All again to his left. This is Malul now. Cross in, and it's over the top from Percy Tell. I got the run on his marker. Couldn't keep the header down though. More directed on target. We're being patient with the build-up. Ahly have had some chances too. Just again, it's the similar story to the one on Friday. The finish has rather let them down so far.
Exactly. The build-up play has been very, very solid, as we normally say. They've been processing the ball very, very good, but the problem right now is the execution. You just have to just bury the balls, and then they are good. But so far, so good for Ahly. They've been very, very dominating in this game.
That's it. This time layoff from El Shahat. Afsha still with it here. Afsha wants the return ball, gets it from Percy Tell. Afsha tried to square it. Kept in play by Chama. Cleared up fields. That's it. But again, Ahly making inroads in that Simba defense. Hombe. Goma. Longer. Able to pick out Mohamed Hani. A chance for Ahly to construct another attack. Abdel Munim. El Shahat. That sort of tells the story so far. 7 shots for Ahly, not on target as yet. Percy Tau was bursting into the box, but side the decision against Karaba. Very close call. That's it. Annie sets Tau. Finding his bearings. Goma. Ball gifted straight back to Ahly. Afsha will bounce it straight back to him. Afsha over the top once more. Just cannot hit the target so far. Ahly, yeah, very much doing all the running here in this first half. favourable bounce back to Afsha. Pulled the trigger, just shots was always rising.
So far, Afsha has been very, very dangerous. Talking about the player who has been going forward, trying to shoot a target. But it's rather unfortunate he hasn't got any shot on target right now. But he's looking very, very dangerous in this game.
Well, at first, he struggled a bit to fit into Marcel Culler's style. He's playing a more central position rather than his usual number 10 playmaking role. Eventually, he discovered his top form and was rewarded with a new 3-year deal. Runs until 2027 in August. Mohamed Magdi Afsha. He played a bit part role in the knockout phase of last season's CAF Champions League, but he's been one of the more dangerous performers in the first half of this second leg, certainly.
It's focusing on recovering response. That's
Modeste among the substitutes for Ahly, joined in September after a brief spell with Borussia Dortmund in the German Bundesliga. The options available to Marcel Culler this afternoon if need be. Albertino joined Simba in January from Ugandan club Vipers, the Uganda Premier League with them, and took them into the group stages of the Champions League for the first time in the club history. Trying to weave some more magic with Simba. They have had to resist a number of attacks in this first half, Simba, but very much still in this tie. Kept in here by Dieng. Hani. Tao. Tao goes for goal. Tao. Shot deflected behind by the central defender, Che Malone.
Network, your system, your computer. There are so many different places that we have security settings. You just may not have covered them all. And again,
corner kick upcoming here for the home side.
But if you have not personally gone to your browser and
Malul will be to bend it in. That left foot of his. Here comes. Put it away, but chance here to follow it up. It was cleared away. It was Abdel Monem who had the opportunity. Half-hearted appeals for a handball from some of the Ahly players. Rabiu, in fact, with the chance. It came off the head and then, or perhaps the shoulder of another Simba player, but certainly not worthy of a penalty. Goma was initially heading it away, straight into his teammate Sadio Kanute from point-blank range. Absolutely nothing about that, Kanute. Atia. Goma. Atia. Back to El Shanawi. Flip towards the Simba box. It might fall here for Afsha. Afsha picks out El Shahat. El Shahat did save. Well, it's spilled in the end and scrambled away. Inonga is going to put his foot through it and boot it to safety. Ahly Salim wants to have it covered. Ball squirmed out of his grasp. Shahat getting the shot off. I don't think it would have counted if it had been turned in by one of the two players in front of goal, both in an offside position. At the moment, it's all the same for the Simba goalkeeper.
So let's say you visit a website and it wants to put it on your computer.
Shinawi. Delmonim. It was late on in that first half, Asamoah, that Simba conceded a goal in the first leg right before the half-time whistle. Be careful again. They've been doing a lot of defensive work here in this first half. Be desperate just to keep things tight into the break as well.
Yeah, I think so. They should make sure they keep focused to the end of the first half. You know, around this time of the game, when you lose focus, you're going to concede. And I think they know, they are very, very aware about that. They should make sure they are very, very focused to the end of the first half. Although it doesn't look good for them because of the away goal for Ahly, but they should keep the results. You might never know what is going to happen in the later stages of the game.
Now the team will have 15 minutes or so just to mull things over at half-time. A couple of key changes in that first leg. You think he'll make some more substitutions at half-time today, or is he going to wait and see how things pan out to start the second half?
I'm sure he's going to wait a bit and see how it is going to play out. If not, he's going to have some early changes in the attack, because Boko has been a target man, but he doesn't seem to keep the ball the way the team wants. I don't know what is going on in the coach's mind, but I think if there's going to be any changes, then it's going to be a bit from the attack and make sure bring some defensive players to make sure they can be able to keep the ball very, very tight.
He's one of the two players drafted in today for Simba, John Boko, taking over the captain's armband as well, but has played a rather peripheral role so far in this first half. Giving away once more. Ahmed Hani flips it over towards Afsha. Good first touch as well. Afsha too close to Ahly Salim, able to come out and collect with very little trouble.
When we come back from
Chama, as you're saying, the left back, Saidi. Just looking ball there from Saidi. Chama goes to ground. And eventually concedes the free kicks with a piece of Delmonim there. Certainly more promising for Simba. He waited pass into the box from Saidi. Chama's teammates perhaps having a word with the referee, just asking about the challenge in the area. It's Kibu Dennis.
Dennis has been very, very selfish today. He's got very two opportunities that he could lay to Boko, and he decides to go solo. When you are playing away like that, and then you have these small chances, and you don't make a use of them, then it's going to cost you a bit.
6 minutes added on at the end of this first half. A portion of it, presumably, for the stoppage in play when Mohamed El Shinawi was down hurt. Yeah. Hello. Dieng. Hello. Drives it forwards towards Carabet. To down. This is Atcha. Tao. Tao gets past one. Tao tries to pull it back. This will be a chance to shoot here, and Ngoma was out well to block the shot. Lifted into the box, and well, unconventional certainly from Ali Salim, just booting it into touch.
The only problem with Ali is the last third of the field. You just have to make sure they buy the ball. So far, so good for them, but they just need the execution, and I think they'll be fine.
Tao. Good ball to the outside of the boot. Carabet here, can he get to the end of it? It's good goalkeeping from Ali Salim. Out quickly. To smother at the feet of Mahmoud Carabet. Chama drops it on to Saidi. Ngoma. Inonga. Inonga. Oh, he's in all sorts of trouble there, Inonga. Amsha, can they punish Simba here? And Ackley just behind El Shahat, and it's a real let-off there for Henok Inonga and Simba. Rabia hands it back to El Shanawi. Not quite sure what he was doing there, Asamoah.
I don't even know what he was trying to do there. You know, as a defender, you don't take that risk, especially at the later stages of the game. He had many options, but I don't know what he was trying to do there. But he got away with it. He was very, very lucky there.
I see you gesturing alongside me just to stay calm, you know, and keep hold of the ball in these final few minutes before the half-time break, but give it away to Ahly in a really dangerous position. Unfortunately, he weren't made to pay for it, but it would have been a rather disastrous way to end this first half. That resulted in a goal. Canute. Malone. Hussein. Comes off Percy Tao.
It's a crucial moment for Simba. At least they should try and keep the results to the end of the first half, and that is what they were trying to do just a minute ago. They just have to just keep the ball, make sure they win a couple of fouls there to frustrate a bit of Ali, and then they can go the dressing room with a 0-0, and then you can plan for the next step.
Just trying to see out the remaining minute or two in this first half. They can then reset at half-time and go again. 45 minutes showdown for a place in the semi-finals. Striking the corner flag, and just be a throw-in for Al Ahly. That's it. Hit it up and not away just yet, but Canute flicks it clear, but they seem to apply it down here in a bit of pain as well. There's been a clash of heads. So we can get a better look. It's the header from Ngoma that's behind rather than at a safety, and it was Kapombe challenging with Afsha. There's a clash of heads. Came off on the second best, the Simba right back. What's the message for Al Ahly going to half? So they've had the chances, haven't been able to get that goal yet. Is it just more of the same in the second half?
I think they have a lot of work to do in the second half. Bring more offensive players because Simba doesn't look very dangerous in attack. So this is all about risks. Trying to bring some offensive players to make sure they can able to score some goals. And I think defensively they are fine, although they shouldn't take any risk. But there should be fresh legs in the offensive department of the field in the second half.
At some point, Simba are going to have to show a little bit more urgency going forward. They do need, at the very least, a goal today to keep their run alive.
And I'm sure if they score a goal, it's very difficult because the game is open now. If Simba also try and score a goal, then it's going to be very interesting.
He moves it back to Shinawi. Malul. Al-Shahat. The 8th minute added on here at the end of the first half. Goalless in this second leg. Manny finds Dieng. Back by Arabia. Tau. Still with the ball at his feet. Bertie Tau does well to pick out a teammate. It's Dieng. Laid off here to Afsha. Malul to his left. Malul into the box. Important header away. Dieng. Malul calling for it, gets it. Threads it through to Karapa. Back with Malul. Lovely work through to Karapa. Again, Simba doing just about enough. And there goes the whistle to end this first 45 minutes. The second leg of this quarter-final of the African Football League between Al Ahly and Simba.